Rights to freedom is dead. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and sisters. Welcome to the Afro Elite YouTube channel. I'm your host, Afro Elite. Before we get started, please make sure that you guys hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on any future content. Leave a like and share this on your various social media platforms. All of that helps the reach and the growth of the channel. Now, we're going to be discussing a lawsuit from Michael Oher. He was the athlete that the movie The Blind Side was depicted about. He's suing because in the movie, and everybody thought he was adopted, even himself in real life thought he was adopted, but found out he wasn't adopted, and the family has been finessing off his likeness, off of the brand, and off of the story that they adopted him and turned him into the superstar, which actually really didn't happen. The family's been getting millions of dollars and haven't had him be a part of that at all. Not only that, he's not even legally a part of the family. But let's get into the story. Retired NFL star Michael Oher, whose supposed adoption out of grinding poverty by the wealthy white family was immortalized in the 2009 movie The Blind Side, petitioned the Tennessee court Monday with the allegations that the central element of the story was a lie concocted by the family to enrich itself at his expense. A 14-page petition filed in Sibley County, Tennessee probate court alleges that Sean and Leanne Toohey, who took Oher into their home as a high school student, never adopted him. Instead, less than 3 months after Oher turned 18 in 2004, the petition says the couple tricked him into signing a document making them his conservators, which gives them legal authority to make business deals in his name. The petition also alleges that the Tohers used their power as conservators to strike a deal that paid them and their 2 birth children millions of dollars in royalties from the Oscar-winning film that earned more than $300 million, while Oher got nothing from the story that would have not existed without him. So their white kids, their real white kids, got millions of dollars based off the story about Oher, the actual black guy who actually did the work. The story is based solely around him. Without him, there would have been no story at all. But white people came and they finessed him, manipulated him, tricked him, and gained millions of dollars off of utilizing him and his likeness, making a movie and getting all this credit and praise. And he didn't get nothing at all. And they're sitting up there getting praise for damn near saving his life. That's kind of what the movie implies. But let's continue. In the years since, the Tohers have continued calling the 37-year-old Oher their adoptive son and had used that assertion to promote their foundation as well as Leanne Toher's work as an author and a motivational speaker. Quote, the lie that Michael's adoption is one upon which co-conservators Leah Ann Towey and Sean Towey have enriched themselves at the expense of their ward, the undersigned Michael Oher. The legal filing says, Michael Oher discovered this lie to his chagrin and embarrassment in February of 2023 when he learned that the conservatorship to which he consented on the basis that doing so would make him a member of the Towey family, in fact provided him no familial relationship with the Toheys. So the Toheys really finessed and lied to everybody. They made it seem like they adopted him, they bought him in to be a member of the family, and they just used him. They really finessed him and got millions of dollars and fame, not just money, millions of dollars and fame. They became damn near heroes after that movie came out. I remember everybody's like, oh my God, they're so wise. And we're going to talk about the racist aspect of what they did as well too, but let's finish. The Toohey family did not immediately return phone calls Monday to numbers listed for them. Their attorney, Stephen Faries, declined comment to ESPN on Monday, saying the family would file a legal response to the allegations in the coming weeks. Sean Tui told the Daily Memphin website that he was stunned by Oher's allegation and said that Tui, quote, did not make any money off the movie, only a share of the proceeds from Michael Lewis' book, which was the foundation for the film. Well, here's the thing. Even if they didn't make a single dime off the movie, even if they didn't make a single dime, which I don't believe, because they used their likeness. So I don't believe that they didn't make any money off the movie. Even if they didn't, that put them on a social status a lot higher than they were before. Okay. That movie put them on an incredibly high social status. So that means all of the books that they made, all of the business deals that they made, all of the motivational speakers and all of that stuff that they made was based off of their social status because of that situation. So even if they directly didn't make money off of the movie, they indirectly made money off of the movie because it elevated their social status. So anything they did after the movie was out was because of, oh, it's the Tuies. Oh, we got to do this because they're this big family who's helped this poor black person out. So it elevated their social status and they made a lot of money off of that after that. So they did make money. Okay, whether they didn't make it off of the movie itself, which in my personal opinion, just based off of how the movie was portrayed, I would say they did. I find it hard to believe that they didn't make any money off the movie whatsoever. But even if they didn't directly make money off the movie, they very much so indirectly made a lot of money off that movie. It continues to say, quote, we're devastated, Sean Tui told the outlet. It's upsetting to think we would have made money off any of our children, but we're going to love Michael at 37 just like we loved him at 16. Well, is he your child, really? Because according to his allegations and according to his lawsuit, he's not technically a part of the family legally. So you guys didn't adopt him. You're talking about, oh yeah, we're not going to make money off our kids. Well, according to Oher, he didn't make any money off the movie about him. You guys made a lot of money off of his likeness. So either Michael is lying 100% or you guys are lying 100%. And I don't think he's going to sit up there and lie after all this time. He probably did some legal thing to check to see, and he found out he wasn't legally a part of the family at all. So how are you saying, oh, we love him? No, you guys didn't love him. It continues to say, Oher's petition asks the court to end the Tuies' conservatorship and to issue an injunction barring them from using his name and likeness. It also seeks a full accounting of the money the Tuies earned using Oher's name, and to have the couple pay him his fair share of profits as well as unspecified compensatory and punitive damages. Hey, I agree with this. I agree. I'm not exactly sure all of the details of like what's in the lawsuit or whatever the case is, but I agree. They shouldn't be using they made millions of dollars based off the fact that Michael Oher became a successful athlete, okay, because of him. And it's not like he was with them for those many years, okay? 16 to 18, that's 2 years. He said right when he became 18, they made him sign something. That's because, he was a legal adult at that point. So for 2 years, he was with them essentially before they finessed him. It's not like he grew up with them. And then he's thinking that he's a part of this family. They're lying to him and to society that he's a part of this big family, and they're getting in millions of dollars. They're going around and getting praised like they're this white savior, like they're some type of messiah and maternal figure over this black man. And he's not, he's doing the work because he's the athlete. He's the one, on the field playing the sport, making the money. It wouldn't have they wouldn't have made any money, because they wouldn't have made any movie if he did not become a successful athlete. The movie wouldn't have been made just based off of a white family, quote unquote, adopting a random black person. The movie was based off of the fact that they, quote unquote, adopted him and trained him to become this great successful athlete. That's what happened. That's what the movie was based off of. If Michael Oher didn't become a successful athlete, there would have been no story behind it. Nobody really would have cared. But because of his work himself becoming a successful athlete, the white family was able to make millions of dollars based off his likeness. So they need to the full accounting of, oh, we didn't make any money off the movie. First off, said before, I don't think that's true. I think they're lying. And even if that was true, they made a lot of money after the fact. So all of that, the full money accounting needs to be calculated. Or needs his money. He needs compensatory. So all of the damages beforehand, because they made him look like I'm not going to say the word, but they made him look very stupid in the movie. They made him look like a big, stupid oaf who don't know nothing. Y'all know what he looked like. If y'all saw the movie or saw the trailers, y'all know this man couldn't talk. This man was stupid as hell. And it was this white woman who kind of whipped him into shape and made him something. He wouldn't have been anything had it not been for her. That's what the movie portrayed, okay? So he needs all his money. They need to cut the check. Since at least August of 2004, conservators have allowed Michael, specifically, and the public generally, to believe that conservators adopted Michael, and they have used that untruth to gain financial advantages for themselves and for the foundations which they own or which they exercise control, the petition says. All monies made in said manner should in all conscience and equity be disgorged and paid over to the said ward, Michael Oher. Oher was a rising high school senior when he signed the conservatorship papers, and he was written that the Towies told him that they were essentially no difference between adoption and conservatorship. Quote, they explained to me that it was pretty much the exact same thing as adoptive parents, but that the laws were just written in a way that took my age into account. Oher wrote in his 2011 best-selling memoir, I Beat the Odds. So they lied, because it's not the same, and they know for a fact it's not the same. They did that deliberately because they like, oh, he's about to blow up, let's sign something so we can like legally tie ourselves to his money. But they didn't want to adopt him because he would technically be a part of the family. So if he is a part of the family, he can, get some of that money. But that's not, they set it up deliberately so they can take the money and he won't get none. That's why they set it up that way. And they lied to him about that. And they lied in a movie about that too, because the movie made it seem like they adopted him as well. The movie made it seem like, not that he was rising and they picked him up. The movie made it seem like, oh my God, he's such a dumb oaf, but he has a heart of gold. This stupid ass Negro who can't talk, but he has such a good heart, and they adopted him based off of his heart and his goodness, and they just happened to find out that he was just this superstar football player. He was just a superstar athlete, but they didn't know that beforehand. It was just his heart. That's why they adopted him. That's what they tried to make it seem like. It continues to say, but there are some important legal distinctions. If Oher had been adopted by the Towies, he would have been a legal member of their family. I just said that. And he would have retained power to handle his own financial affairs. Exactly. That's why they did not legally adopt him, because they already knew. It wasn't that they were confused or they thought it was the same thing. They knew it wasn't the same thing. But they knew like, oh, we get to pretty much write him completely out if we don't adopt him. They knew exactly what they were doing. It continues to say, under conservatorship, Oher surrendered that authority to the Towies, even though he was a legal adult with no known physical or psychological disabilities. The petition alleges that the Toei's began negotiating a movie deal about their relationship with oher shortly after the 2006 release of the book, The Blind Side: Elevation of the Game, which chronicled the story. According to the legal filing, the movie paid the Toei's and their two birth children each $225,000 plus 2.5% of the film's defined net proceeds. The movie became a critically acclaimed blockbuster, reportedly grossing over 300 million at the box office and tens of millions of dollars more in home video sales. The film received an Oscar nomination for Best Picture, and Sandra Bullock won a Best Actress trophy for her portrayal as Leanne Tui. While the deal allowed the Toei's to profit from the film, the petition alleges a separate 2007 contract purportedly signed by oher appears to, quote, give away to the 20th Century Fox studio the life rights to his own story, quote, without any payment whatsoever. The filing says oher has no recollection of signing that contract, and even if he did, no one explained the implications to him. So everybody was in on it. Everybody was in on it. Okay, everybody was in on knowing that this story was going to be big, knowing that people are going to love this story, especially white folks, because they love the Messiah complex that they have over black people. That's their little racist, white supremacist aspect of this. Like, oh, look at us. We're so much better and sophisticated than these dumb, brutish Negroes. If only we can train them and tame them and mold them into something better, so they don't just be lost on the street. They don't become a thug. They can become a great athlete if only they have a white master creating them to make them a better person. Oh, they love that story. They ate that story all the way up. They ate it up, gave millions of dollars off that story. Not just the family, but apparently Fox Studios was in on this too. So my question is, if this man was an athlete, like, where was his legal representation to let him know what the contract was? Michael Oher was just completely finessed by everything. It continues to say the deal lists that all four Toei family members as having the same representative at Creative Artists Agency, the petition says. But Oher's agent, who would receive movie contract and payment notices, is listed as Deborah Brainin, a close family friend of the Tuohy's and the same lawyer who filed the 2004 conservatorship petition, the petition alleges. Brainin did not return a call to her law office on Monday. Man, everybody was in on finessing this man. Everybody, the lawyers, all of them. Oh, and the lawyers need to get sued too, because if the lawyers were supposed to provide legal representation and inform him on his decisions, and they failed to do so, and they allowed him to be finessed because they're a friend of the family. So they were essentially, this what is implying, or what I'm picking up, is they were paid under the table, like, you're his legal representation, but wink wink, you do what we say. So everybody needs to be honest. To be honest, I feel like there needs to be jail time behind all of this, if we're going to be totally honest. It goes on to say, in the past, the Tuohy's have denied making much money from the movie, saying they received a flat fee for the story and did not recap any of the movie's profits. And what they did earn, they added, they shared with oher, which he's not saying y'all shared nothing. Okay, and look, this is their deflection. Their deflection is going to be, well, we didn't make that much money off the movie. We didn't make that much money off the movie. Well, according to Sean, y'all said y'all didn't make no money. So did y'all not make any money, or did you make a little bit of money? See, the inconsistencies are starting to pop up now. Did you make no money at all, or did you make some money? It was just a little bit of money. Because those two things can't exist. Those two things can't both be true. And even if, like I said before, and even if they didn't make any money, not a single dime, they didn't make any money off the movie itself, they made millions of dollars off of the social status that the movie put them on. Quote, we divided it in 5 ways, the Tuohy's wrote in their 2010 book, In a Heartbeat, Sharing the Power of Cheerful Giving. Why would you divide it in 5 ways? What did the 2 other kids do? If you guys, let's say for instance, they legally adopted him. Let's say they legally adopted him. uh Even if the parents, if they were his legal parents, and they, you know, trained him, if the movie's correct and whatever, they trained him, they groomed him into becoming this great athlete that he would have never been had it not been for them, and the 2 parents are responsible for that, it should be divided, to be honest, in 3 ways, if that, if that, because it's Michael Oher. He's the athlete. He's the one who made the story. He's the one who became successful. There would have been no story, no clout, no book, no nothing if he did not himself become a great athlete. That was him, all right? But even if you want to give credit to the parents who helped him out when he was struggling or whatever the case, and you give them a little bit of money, the money should go 3 ways. Why are the 2 other kids who didn't do nothing, why are they getting the money? For them to say we divided it 5 ways. So you mean to tell me that Michael Oher, the athlete who made this whole thing possible, he's getting the same amount of money as their 2 little white kids who didn't do nothing? That's what they're saying. Oher's court petition says he never received any money from the movie, even though he long suspected that others were profiting, according to his attorney, J. Jared Strach IV. When Oher asked questions, he did not get straight answers, his attorney said. And since the film's success coincided with the start of his lucrative NFL career in 2009, Oher did not take the time to fully investigate the deal until after he retired in 2016, Strach said. Oher eventually hired a lawyer who helped him uncover the details surrounding the movie deal and his legal connection to the people he believed were his adoptive parents. His lawyer unearthed the conservatorship documented in February, and Oher came to a painful realization that the Tohers had not adopted him. Quote, Michael did not grow up in a stable family life, Strach said. When the Toher family told Michael they loved him and wanted to adopt him, it filled the void that had been with him his entire life. Discovering that he wasn't actually adopted devastated Mike and wounded him deeply. See, these people they manipulated his emotions. They used his emotions, knowing the fact that he felt a loss of family, knowing the fact that he felt this void of not having a family, not having a stable family, not having the feel of a family who loves him and who cares deeply about him. They manipulated his emotions and made it seem like they don't love him at all. They made it seem like they loved him. They made it seem like they cared about him, that they wanted him to be a part of the family, only because they saw his come up coming. They saw it coming before he really did. So they were like, okay, we're going to have you fall in love with this family so you can, when you become 18, you can sign yourself off to be legally adopted. Okay, that way, I mean, you're part of the family, right? And they got all this money and didn't give him none because they never loved him. They were using him the whole time. It continues to say, the petition marks a sharp break in what had been an inspiring, if unsettling, stereotypical feel-good story. See, yeah, it was a stereotype. This story had a very racist undertone to it, if we're going to be very honest. Then it goes on to say, as the movie portrayed the story, the Tuohys adopted Oher, a poor, virtually homeless, and academically challenged black teenager. They made Oher a part of a functional family for the first time. They helped him catch up in school, taught him the basics of football and how to harness his physical skills, putting him on the road to sports stardom. That is exactly, it was a huge racist little white supremacist undertone with that story. Okay, the white savior complex was high in that story. It was all throughout that story. It continues to say, the truth, however, is more complicated. Oher certainly had a hard knock life growing up, but he also had smarts, the pluck, and plenty of help from the Tuohys and others to rise above his circumstances. Oher is one of 12 children born to his mother, who struggled with drug addiction. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's interesting. Before his 11th birthday, Oher was placed into foster care, where he was bounced around numerous homes, and at the time lived on the street. Although he was a capable student, he attended 11 schools in 9 years. Wow. And repeated both the first and second grades, leaving him behind academically. Now, the movie made it seem like he was dumb. The movie made it seem like he was, some stupid, dumb Negro. But the thing is that when you're living in that type of situation, you're in a foster care, you really don't have a family, and you're moving around so much. It's hard for you to even if you're one of the best, smartest students, it would be hard for you to keep up with your schoolwork and keep up with your grades if you're moving around that much. So you would fall behind. It's not like you fell behind because you're academically challenged because your brain just doesn't function that well. It's because of all of the other factors. His fortune changed after a friend's father, impressed with oher's inner drive and focus, introduced him to a principal of a private Christian school in a prosperous Memphis neighborhood. Oher began attending the school at the 10th grade, even as his home life remained chaotic. He was a sports prodigy, excelling in track and field, basketball, and football, a game he had studied for years. See, this is what I'm saying. The movie made it seem like he didn't know no sports, he didn't know nothing. He was just this big, super strong Negro who didn't know how to use his strength until white people told him how to use his strength. He was a prodigy, okay? He was track, field, basketball, football. He was great. He was already a made athlete, damn near, okay? And this was long before the Tuohys discovered him. It goes on to say he began playing football for his new school in the 11th grade, quickly establishing himself as one of the nation's top offensive linemen, and college scholarships offers poured in from big-time football programs across the country. Because of his unstable housing situation, Oher frequently stayed over at the homes of his classmates, including the Tuohys, whose children attended the school. The petition says that the Tuohys forged a closer relationship with him once Oher's athletic prowess drew wide attention. They invited him to spend more nights at their spacious Memphis home and took him shopping. Eventually, they asked Oher to move in. They encouraged him to address them as, quote, mom and dad, and said they planned to adopt him, the filing says. So they knew this man was a star in the making. They knew that. They knew he was about to take off and that his likeness, his brand, was about to be worth millions of dollars. So they are like, oh, why don't you stay over here? Why don't you stay over here? We just love you so much, and we just want you to be around so much. They groomed him. They manipulated him because he was going through a lot of stuff when it comes to him, his family, and him not having a place to stay. They manipulated and groomed him and tricked him into signing that. It goes on to say, Oher was delighted with all of that at the time, his lawyer said, and he fully trusted the Tuohys. Oher went on to play college football at the University of Mississippi, the Tuohys' alma mater. He was a two-time All-American and first-round pick of the Baltimore Ravens in 2009. So this man was like the superstar athlete that they just loved so much, and that's why they used him. After the success of The Blind Side, however, speculation slowly eclipsed Oher's trust of the Tuohys, his lawyer said. Quote, Mike's relationship with the Tuohy family started to decline when he discovered that he was portrayed in the movie as unintelligent, Stratch said. Their relationship continued to deteriorate when he learned he was the only member of the family not receiving royalty checks from the movie, and it was permanently fractured when he realized he wasn't adopted and a part of the family. Over years, Oher has chafed at how The Blind Side depicted him, saying it hurts his football career and clouded how people viewed him. Now, chafed is pretty much they saying he has an issue with it, and he should, because they made it seem like this man was damn near brain dead. They made it seem like he lost a part of his brain in the movie. Oh man, racists love that movie so much because the white people were these intelligent people who groomed this stupid. Ooh, that movie is so damn racist. That movie is so racist, honestly. There's so many racist undertones to that movie, honestly. He said that the base of the film, some NFL decision makers assumed he was mentally slow or lacked leadership skills. So pretty much what he's saying is that the way he was depicted in the movie, that really hurt his career, because everybody is assuming that how he was depicted in the movie is to a degree accurate. So they're looking like, damn, Mike is kind of stupid. Mike is kind of slow. So that kind of hurts him from elevating in his career, because everybody around him already has this disposition towards him that he's stupid. Quote, people look at me and they take things away from me because of the movie. And they take things away from me because of the movie, Oher told ESPN in 2015. They don't really see the skills and the kind of player I am. For their part, the Tuohys agreed that Oher always had what it took to succeed. Quote, if there is a fundamental misapprehension of Michael, it's that he needed saving, the Tuohys wrote in their book. We discovered that underneath his shyness, his foot shuffling, his head ducking, he had a tremendous will to determine the course of his own life. Now, that's not what the movie depicted him as. The movie depicted him as an idiot, just like a straight up idiot. For years, Oher has said he was content to live with the myth created by the movie, reasoning that its inspirational message outweighed the pain inflicted by what he saw as an inaccurate portrayal of his life. But that has changed. Oher, come on, man. Because that movie didn't just depict him. It is deeper than just Michael Oher. It's about their depiction of black people and black athletes in general. It's about like this big beast, this black Negro beast that needs to be tamed and harnessed by the white master. That's kind of the undertone of the movie, if we're going to be honest. So for him to say, yeah, I'm content with it because it's an inspirational message. No, that's not inspirational. That's kind of like a racist message, if we're going to be honest. And the movie wasn't even, he was like the co-star of the movie. The movie was mainly about the woman. That's really who the star of the movie was. She's the one who got the Oscar. The Sandra Bullock is the one who got the Oscar for portraying her. It's not like the black actor got an Oscar for portraying him. So come on, man. It shouldn't have took you this long, to be honest. Quote, there has been so much created from The Blind Side that I am grateful for, which is why you might find it a shock that the experience surrounding the story has also been a large source of some of my deepest hurt and pain over the past 14 years. Oher wrote in his book, When Your Back's Against the Wall, released last week. Beyond the detail of the deal, the politics, and the money behind the book and movie, it is the principle of the choices some people made that cut me the deepest. Now, how you know they are 100% wrong and they knew deliberately what they were doing is because they did not adopt him at 16, because they knew he would be entitled to the money. Even though it's the money he made for the family, they knew he would be entitled to that if he was legally tied to the family. That's why they waited till he became 18, because at 16 he couldn't do it, but at 18 he signed that paper that gave them the authority to his likeness and his money and all that stuff. That gave them legal authority. He couldn't do that at 16. So they finessed him. They act like they loved him as he was this superstar who needed a family. They used his emotional situation to finesse them, to make him seem like he was loved by the family, and they knew, oh, this Negro is about to give us the bag, and they finessed him all up until 37 when he first started realizing that. Not one time did they say, hey man, he made us all this money, let's cut him off something. They made their two other little kids rich off of that black guy and his athleticism and his stardom and what he accomplished. Those two white kids, their white kids actually got money off of that. Their white kids got money and they clout and all that stuff off of the likeness and branding of Michael Oher. And to be totally honest, with the legal representation and how they finessed him and how they manipulated him, I think not only should he sue, I think that there should be some type of jail time. If they tricked him into signing different contracts, I think there should be jail time. Family, what do you think? Let me know that in the comment section below. What do you think about Michael Oher? What do you think about the family? What do you think should happen? I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below. Also, you should be following me on my various social media platforms, which is Afro Elite on Instagram and the Afro Elite on Twitter. Before you guys go, please do not forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell. We're almost to 10,000. For all of you guys, I appreciate every single last one of you guys and everything you do. Please hit that subscribe button and the notification bell and leave a like. Now, with that being said, my brothers and sisters, be one salute to every single last one of you all, and you all have a good one.